interesting matchup. But the thing is, if it was anybody else, I'd be like, I'm not sure what you're doing. But Rapha's good with DK. He's really good. He knows how to put it to its best use. So I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. But Whaz playing Anarchy is very interesting. Just because his movement's great, I'm curious to see how he's going to apply it on Corrupted Keep. It is the map that Rapha lost to the Hang yesterday, so he's shown that he's immortal there. But then we go over to Awoken. Can be tough with the mobility of Solag. I've got to say, Solag on Awoken seems to win the majority of the time, and the one exception I've seen lately is Venger's loss. He couldn't get into the swinging things fast enough.
Yes.
Tried to make that comeback at the end, but ended up losing to Doom. But otherwise, for me, Solag is tier 1, top tier, tier A, S tier, Awoken.
Literally all of the ranks there.
Yeah,
You got them
all of the good ranks though.
Yeah.
So
he's good.
The best one. Yeah, she.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. She's good.
Careful what you're saying right there. You'll upset a lot of people.
That
okay?
reptile
Gonna
can do a
have
lot of damage.
Disciplinary procedure.
Yeah, it's fine. We'll sort it out later.
Okay. Yeah.
A Phrygian slip.
A Phrygian slip.
A Phrygian slip. Yeah, a Phrygian slip.
Okay.
No, I always love seeing a bit of Solag, especially when it's played to a high pedigree, which we know we are going to be seeing from that matchup. There's so much you can do with it in terms of aggressing, in terms of denying. It just looks fantastic. Such a good champ.
I'm curious if we're going to get those stats up on DK. Currently 1 for 7, 1 win. Sorry, 1 win, 7 losses, should I say? Can he make it 2 win 7? I'm very curious.
Well, that's a
about
crazy
that.
thing, because that's why as soon as it caught my eye, I was like, well,
very low stats.
I have only physically seen 1 DK pick over the entire season.
Yeah.
And there's been 2.
They're generally not very memorable, the DK picks, because they mostly lose.
They do normally lose.
So it's, yeah, I mean, it's fair that way. I normally tend to see DK on something like a Veil, for instance. And it's Rapha that kind of is the head honcho in terms of pushing DK forward in the meta, and all the way back to PGL last year, where DK was kind of at his peak in terms of how he was balanced compared to all the other champions. And then a couple of people have still been applying. It was like, well, there's still some DPS. You just got to be a little bit more accurate with it, a little bit more timely. You can't just go around, pop a corner, and blow their corpses up. It's more strategic now.
Well, you know, at some point, you know, new champions that are going to start to worm their way into the meta will start to work their way up, right? And Death Knight being potentially a viable contender for that, if wielded so well by Rapha. You know,
maybe.
As the saying goes, no king rules forever, my boy.
This is true. This is true. But we're starting, and we have got a king on the map at the moment. Whaz is going to have to try and slaughter him. He's got the Ranger. Missed rail there for Rapha. An angle he's normally bang on with every single time. I'm very curious how Whaz is going to approach this. Is he going to go for a sort of stable gameplay? Hasn't got the rail still, which is a little bit dangerous. Going to try and stay out that angle a bit, but ends up eating 2 rockets. Oh my god, that is a lot of damage. I think Rapha saw that he hit the damage like, oh really? Let's crack on then.
The thing is, as soon as you concede that first frag to Rapha as well, before even the minute mark, you know you are going to be in for a wild, wild game.
Yeah.
Rapha's just going to start to push off the back of that. He's going to play so confidently, and he will start to teach you why he is the mastermind.
Like, Rapha wouldn't have expected that to happen. There's no way Whaz should have allowed that much damage to land on him. These rockets were incredibly dodgeable. It's like a deer in headlights there for a second, you know? It will just happen. You can't control your body.
Car crash TV, basically. Oh, Heavy's up. Whaz is close to it. Going to try and gain control of it. Does after he takes a face full of Tri-Bolt. Both of them losing a ton of health as Rapha's getting chunked down there by Whaz. They both fall back, essentially in a stalemate position, around the same in terms of the stack, but there's the drop down from Rapha. It looks cinematic, it looks show-stopping, and of course, there's now no pulse left for Whaz.
They're very good from Rapha, but a bit of a sort of a default push from Whaz. There's the closer with the last of the piercing sight off the spawn. Doesn't quite get the rail shot, but a couple of the nails land. Yeah, and Whaz just got to be careful how he pushes into the major items, because Rapha knows all the tricks that you're likely to do, all the standard routes. You've got to be somewhat creative. And sometimes you've got to look for damage as far back as the rail banana area. Rapha, sorry, Whaz, early as hell on that mega health. totally destroyed there. And Rapha will continue to have the run of the map.
Rapha advancing, going to take a better stance as he moves across, fires out the nails on the prediction, hoping the Whaz is going to be coming towards him, spots him out with the rail, tries to land the shot but can't quite do so. Tri-bolt response will still be effective, however. And Rapha, the back jump in towards the heavy, gives him a nice defense as he'll have a pretty hefty stack to work with. Oh, the unzoomed rail as well. Oh, not the shotgun. I told you, Zoot, shotgun.
Too far away. Settle down.
Sorry,
Oh, that orb
pumped.
that was painful. Missed rail for a second. Whaz, maybe has he got a chance? Piercing sight, not going to help him out. Whaz has got to be very, very careful in these instances, but should know now that it has been fading away.
Oh, tri-bolt.
He's not doing bad. Wow, okay, tri-bolt works out. Rapha goes in a little bit too far, not respecting the tri-bolt. That is always dangerous to do. And there's going to be mega up shortly, so Whaz has got a chance to sustain some control. Ooh, and he's got the information now on to Rapha. But he needs to get the weaponry in. He's got the rockets. And he's Ranger. He can rocket jump around all he likes. Nice little tricksy play. Earns himself the railgun from that. Love what I just saw from Whaz. He's got to get this heavy, and he really needs to start pushing into a sort of aggressive positions to find Rapha.
Or you could just go for the full frontal assault, launch yourself in towards Rapha, do a ton of face damage, and then battle for the control of the Mega. Looking for the lip shot over the angle as he's set up with the rail. Ton of damage done. He's prepared for it as well, Zoo, but he doesn't actually get the following shot off. Instead goes in with the rocket. Rapha's got time to back up, and Whaz, from a position where he could have had at least another frag on the board and had a 2-4, he's still stuck with a 1-4 scoreline.
He's got to be careful. He's just dropped his position very low, and Rapha's now looking at him up the staircase. He's still railable, but Rapha's not sticking around. He doesn't have a big stack, so he doesn't want to risk everything for this. Whaz is going to look to put himself at 100-100. Just found out that Rapha's up there. He wants to misses it on the ledge. And that rocket hurts. He gets caught on the archway. This is dangerous now, because Whaz is severely outstacked. Silver lining is that Rapha does not have the piercing sight, so Whaz will have an opportunity to get his health up. Oh, briefly. Only small touch there, 15 damage maybe.
Whaz needs to try and get a further frag here. He's still quite far behind compared to Rapha, and Rapha's starting to gain control of the items as well. Picks up heavy. He's been darting back and forth and gaining these pretty much for free. The rocket's coming up, but he doesn't have too many left. Whaz going to struggle if he is actually aggressed on here, as Rapha has a much larger stack, has all the firepower he could want as well. Direwolf goes out to try and go for a backdoor play, but instead, after he takes all that face damage, he is eliminated by the LG. Rapha doing what he does best as well, as he sets himself up for a second frag instantly. Near misses on the rail suit.
Yeah, I think Whaz is a little bit over-aggressive with his positioning, and particularly his orbs, so he could use them to maybe even get away when he's picking up these items. I also think he had a very good idea that Rapha was going to make that move, but he didn't really discipline himself in a way to just avoid it. He was too keen on building up his stack. Orb comes in once again. He's looking for that damage, trying his darndest, but it won't be the case. He needs those rockets to follow up, get those burst TPS to combine with it. LG looks good from him, though. And Rapha's going to go on a repeat. There is a light armor there, but Whaz is going to win the race over.
Whaz. Well played from him, but he's still quite far behind. He's going to need to start going on a bit of a massacre here versus Rapha. Knows where he is, sets himself up. The shots are whizzing around the corner, and he's left on a really awkward spot with not much HP at all. Couldn't get the rail shot off either to stop Rapha in his tracks. Instead, it's another death, another demise, bringing Rapha up to 7 kills now.
Yeah, Whaz has definitely been putting up a fight this map, but it's just so much to go against. Rapha's having to still pull out decent amount. The stops to a... Whoa. Orb again. Not going to be floating over the top. That's just full distraction. It allows Whaz to get himself to 100 health, 100 armor. Can he punch with this piercing sight? He knows which direction he's going. Oh, that's nasty damage. No rail follow-up. Gives Whaz an out. Not really an out anymore. There's possibly one more rail shot. Whaz is on 1 or 2 health. Ow.
You'd be furious off the back of that. You've got to be feeling like you had that frag in the bag and you're still not going to be able to get it. I mean, it doesn't matter too much in the grand scheme of things, as Rapha is already miles ahead. He was on 1 HP off the back of that fight, Zoot, we've just had confirmed. Oh, it won't matter though, as now he's on none.
Well, he did 89 more damage than he needed to just then, because I think he was on one once more. Poor Whaz. Definitely a tough map to work with here, however. Has been doing some good machine gun damage. Likewise, Rapha, he'll have the heavy to fall back on. And Whaz has just been struggling to find the sort of out-of-control damage. Not anymore, as he hits 3 ridiculous rails together, speak of the devil. But it might be a couple of minutes too late, as he needs to get 5 more kills in order to tie this one up. Oh my god, these are tight angles. Hitting his tippy toes.
Yeah, he's trying to make it much cheaper to buy sounds.
Nice work. You can force the spawn up on the stairs, but he hasn't gone for it. He's opting to just secure a level of control, at least.
4 kills between the both of them. A very awkward, close fight here, but Whaz, it all suddenly turns against him. Rapha builds up so much momentum into that fight, finishes him off with a rail, and leaves him lifeless on the ground. Looks to get another kill as well. He wants 10 frags already into this. We're into basically the last 70 seconds of the game as well, so things are tense.
Yeah, I think on the last kill, Whaz was hoping he wouldn't be quite as stacked, and also just you can see desperately trying to dodge those nail guns, but that range isn't bad at all for the weapon, and it's the highest damage per second gun that we've got.
1 minute warning.
Into that final 60 seconds now. For Whaz, probably going to be realizing that his fate has been sealed here on the opening map and that Rapha will be walking away with the first win in the series. But does he have any fight left in him, any fuel in the tank to at least try and make this a bit closer towards the closing moments? Near misses on the rails. Rapha just waiting, hungering. If he wants, he could get a bit audacious here and really commit to something quite outlandish, as he won't be penalized for it. Starts to push in. The rockets come out. LG out to play as well. Denies the Mega. At least he was trying to. Misses with a near unzoomed rails as well. Here comes the shotgun!
Jackie's favourite. Out and about. Going to be locking down another for Rapha in the closing segments of this. I've got to say, not a bad game from Whaz. I could have certainly seen this being a much bigger scoreline for Rapha. But Rapha giving Whaz a lot of respect too. These guys have played on Liquid together. Whaz has been a key component of the team, especially in their sacrifice days. And yeah, he managed to get himself the 11-4 win on Blood Covenant. But we get on to a very juicy map in a moment. DK versus Anarchy on Corrupted Keep, I want to say. Very looking forward to both of those champions, actually. DK for the memes, Anarchy because it's just awesome.
Yeah.
Love Anarchy.
No, I am actually quite excited to see that, because it's DK, which in itself is a very spicy meatball that comes once in a blue moon, but you've also got Rapha being the puppeteer for that champion, which in itself does make you quite excited.
Is the puppeteer another of his sort of job titles?
Potentially so.
Okay.
You know,
Was he auditioning?
we could do. He would also make a very good clown, because he's incredibly effective at juggling with rockets.
It's true. Or wasn't Chain the clown? I prefer Chain to be the clown now, just because it's topical.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
We'll keep
I'm
it
just
there.
being, you know, petty. But
When are you not?
banter.
But Rapha looking very good in the opening map there, Zoo. I feel like he came in strong, absolutely just living up to what you would expect really from a player like Rapha. When do things ever normally go wrong for him?
It's true. It's a rare sight. The only person who can really force him into mistakes is Dahang, and we're seeing that it's not happening a majority of the time in their matchups. I think that Whaz certainly has got an opportunity moving into Corrupted Keep, but it's time for Rapha also to make reparations to show that actually his Corrupted Keep game is on point like it is all the other maps.
I thought you said Corrupted Geek.
No. Simply not me. It might be me.
Never me. Never me. Can't prove it. Can't prove it.
It's not like this is recorded. Don't be silly.
Oh, man. Well, Whaz, compared to what we saw as well into this, he still looks as if he's really got all the cobwebs out. Like, he's been looking good.
I think so. There's still a couple of plays that he makes which It either takes him a second too long to think of it, or he misses it entirely. It's not these big moments, it's just maybe like a certain rotation, or he neglects a major item that Rapha's going to. But he's got some really advanced plays as well in the way that he's leaving up the major items which he knows he's already earned, and that he's looking for that damage. It's just his routing sometimes. Rapha finds a portion of his gameplay just a little too predictable at the moment, and it's allowing Rapha to get off damage much more easily than could otherwise be.
Yeah. We had some nice little nuances thrown in there as well. One of the ones that I know you took note of was the dire orb fake out to go for the jump across to actually get the rail, which
I do like that stuff.
Very nicely played.
I thought that was actually a really awesome play from Whaz. And that's how cool and creative you can be with Ranger, and that's why he's probably my overall favorite champion in the entire game. Just because I know we're so far away from the skill ceiling there is to offer with a champion with that ability. But we have got an immense map coming up now. It is going to be Anarchy versus Death Knight on Corrupted Keep. We're watching Rapha's Death Knight at the moment. Are we going to see its second win of the season?
Rapha, my boy. Let's see what he can achieve here as we're back into the action. Firing off the opening shots there with a rocket as he wants to get up close and personal. Going to be booped slightly back as he'll take a little bit of full frontal damage into this one. Does get control of the Mega straight away, though, and that's the LG picked up. Ooh, little tag there. Give him a bit of extra momentum.
Really trying to get out as much of that HMG damage as possible to fight against the Tri-Bolt that Whaz is working with. Looking for a bit more. Has the LG out. We're going to have the Flame Strike, too, hitting the ground. Oh, Whaz has got a good edge. Item's going to be coming up shortly. He can try and go in for a fight. He's got the Tri-Bolt out for a second, but he needs to watch it. He'll get the heavy. And he needs to find a way forward to punish on the Mega health, but he's just late. There's only a couple of seconds between the items coming up, and that is not going to let you make that full rotation. Whaz is just listening down below.
Oh, tries to get the drop on him. Rapha still being able to do so much damage, though, on the initiate there as he pushes in. Hits him twice with the rockets. The splash damage is huge as he'll then finish him off. Zipped through him there with the lightning gun and gets the opening frag on the board.
So fast the way that he was pushing in with his movement. Very well done from Rapha, ensuring that even an Anarchy can't get away from you then. And catching him with his pants around his ankles once more, trying to just get that light armor. Should have been having to let that one go.
Oh. Shotgun shot coming through. Whaz is incredibly low. Luckily enough, he was able to grab himself some more HP to play with, or else he would have been in such a horrible spot. Great use of the Flame Strike, though.
Whoa.
That is crazy.
That was very close, though. Rapha going down to 13 health. I did not expect him to take quite that damage. Whaz to make sure he gets onto the Mega health again. Nice little denial from Rapha with the LG. You can see how much of Anarchy's stack just dissipated there.
Oh, the prediction rockets as well. He had a great understanding of what was going on. Completely denies it, and then also denies the armor pickup as well. 3 and 0 in a matter of seconds. Gonna go out with the Flame Strike, tries to get the damage off. He's ignited, and he's been hit in mid-air.
Insane 100 damage he gets from that long distance mid-air. I think Rapha's going into his ultimate form now.
He's hit Super Saiyan.
Oh my god, Whaz is just trying to peacefully get himself a couple of health bubbles, waddle out the situation. There's no peace here.
Ooh. Big boop on the rocket. Whaz taking a ton of raw face damage. Oh,
my God.
Shotgun as he goes in and just blasts him to bits. He's going to be covered in holes.
That was overkill there. Tri-Bottle again, chipping away, and he can just go through the teleporter. You will not be surviving this. And there's going to be the heavy armor, and if you can just straight through the teleporter, he'll have the Mega health available too. And Whaz is really getting aggressive at the moment, but he's going to get punished shortly. There's the lightning gun, has got some injection. Light armor will probably be taken shortly.
Oh no!
Whaz, I don't think he got it. He did a bit of damage, but Rapha was ready to steal it. He was just baiting it in for him. And that allowed him to get the kill. Rapha goes very, very low, but he's 8 and 0.
How is he surviving these just ridiculous stuntman level plays? Oh, is booped off into the magma.
Doesn't matter if he goes into the lava though, because he's DK.
Yeah.
It fuels him.
Just tickles his toes.
Arousingly. Maybe not, never mind.
You've said it now, it's too late. That one's been written down. Rapha. He is looking absolutely flamboyant though. Again, the flame strike comes through. Finally! Whaz will get a kill on the board, but it is a trade from either man.
See what the reset does for them. Nice bit of LG dropping down a little eagerly considering Rapha had just taken the heavy. Has a light to prop him up a tiny bit, but Rapha's got the hot switches. Gonna give himself 10 by the halfway point. Didn't he ledge grabbed him? I need to look again at what just happened there. That was very weird.
This could be like a 25 kill game if it carries on in this like level that Rapha's been bringing out.
I can see it hit 20. Definitely 20. But it depends. Whaz can actually slow the game down. But the thing is, why do you want to slow the game down at this stage? Because you're not gonna. If you slow the game down, you're not playing to win anymore. The thing is, if you also keep feeding, it's like, well, it does just get harder and harder. Basically, it's very difficult. This is where I go back to the terminology I was using earlier. That this one's a toughie.
It is. Oh my god!
This has gone full MLG right there. That is some intense 360ing with the shotgun.
Zoot, get the camera.
Yeah, Jackie is standing up, and I don't want to describe what he's doing at the moment.
That made me feel ill. That was actually so good. There's something about Rapha with a shotgun that just... Whenever you see him pull him out, you're just like, oh, here we go.
Yeah. You're always ready.
Oh, the rocket's coming down. Oh no, the flame strike as well. Come on, this is not allowed.
He didn't even like converge the flames. He's like, if I just scatter it, something's gonna hit him.
I'm feeling confident saying 25 kills.
You might be on, actually. You might be on.
If it carries on in this absolutely disgusting manner, good use of the rockets as well to get Rapha up and behind. Uses the nails to try and chip away at Whaz. Here's the commit with the shotgun. Come on, give it to me as he tries to punish him. Will do so. Rips his way through him with a double barrel.
This is what happens with Anarchy, though. Like, there's a chance for Whaz to make it kind of like... I think the way Anarchy competes in this instance versus Rapha is like it could have been a tight game. But also the polar opposite could very much happen with this champion. You can end up being on the receiving end of Farming Simulator. And it can hurt a lot. And that's going to be another 17-1 as Rapha's looking to pad his stats. I was mocking the fact that he wasn't in the top 5, I think, fraggers in the Americas region. And maybe he's going to bounce himself up a couple of places now.
Yeah, trying to make up for that. It's also crazy because I feel like this is the most I have ever seen a Flame Strike not only do damage, but actually get kills in a single game. It's been so incredibly well used. Ooh. How does he win that firefight as well? Still coming out on top every opportunity versus Whaz here. 18 kills. We're coming up to the 8-minute mark. He still has a ton of time to cause more chaos and absolute anarchy on the server. As right now, he is a shotgunner with a hell of a scope, and he's looking to try and take out a cop or two. Goes back in for another pick as he kicks this one off, fires off the warning shot. Whaz, he only has HP to play with, and he won't have that for long if Rapha has his way.
I love they went for that rocket. Try and get a little bit of splash on the exit. Oh my days. 19-1 now. Single-handedly propping up DK stats for the entire community. The man, the myth, the legend. The DK extraordinaire. Are you going to be okay after this, Jackie? Are you going to be alright? Do I need to get you some assistance?
It's just crazy how many shotgun kills he's been able to get away with into this sheer matchup. I've been talking about it literally since week 6, which was yesterday. But it's the fact that I've been saying like how effective he actually is with it. And this has just been that 101 masterclass of Rapha showing you when to prioritize the fact that you can just still do absolute damage with it. Whaz wants to try and get a second frag on the board though, and this might actually be his opportunity. Shoots back and starts to actually nip at the heels at the God King. Will take him down as the Death Knight is now just dead.
He's going to try and get himself something else. Machine gun switch, I like it. There's no ability there. Well, that's possibly... I mean, I think he should have just committed. Just do it. Just get yourself something. You're already like pretty far in.
Mm.
Don't back out now. But I want to see some nice Whaz movement too. Never mind. That nail gun. That nail gun. Yeah. Massive yikes to all that damage. He couldn't really have walked into more damage, if I'm honest.
No. Guess you're hitting everything. He's not wrong, is he?
He's not. And on top of that, he's Rapha, so it's like... He's just contractually obliged to hit everything.
The moneymaker is what they should call him. Because he's just outrageous. You can't beat this, man. 9 seconds left on the clock here. 22-2 is the score line on what is actually now officially Rapha's keep.
I mean, 22-2 is nothing to argue against. And yeah, can't say anything but WP right there. Whaz feeling the sting after all of it. 1700 damage with the LG. We got 989 damage with the super shotgun, 87%. You liking those numbers?
Those are the stats that I wanted to see.
It's not 1,000 though, is it?
It's not 1,000, but it's still pretty good.
It's still pretty good.
It's still pretty. It's pretty up there. Like that was pretty damn sick. As the game goes, that one had so many just outrageous Rapha level frags. Also, probably the single-handed best display we've had of a DK over the entire season, which you can say actually as fact.
Yeah, I think so. 2 wins now DK has. That's yeah, a round of applause for DK, I guess. I'm pretty sure Rapha won the other DK game. I might be wrong on that. I think that happened in week 1 or 2. But, I mean, here we go. Oliver in production, who's been giving us some sick replays, is definitely spoiled for choice on this game, as we had a fair few frags going on. I'm definitely hoping we get the sort of nails at the end, where they're just, yeah, yikes. Because he looked like he was going into the room with such confidence, you know, he's got dreams of growing up and being an astronaut, and he's seeing his path ahead of him, and then crashed, burning, everything's
Nails
hit
to the face.
Yeah.
And it just never ends.
Oh, exactly.
It's crazy how much it ramped up. The tempo just went tenfold so quickly, and it was like, all right. We actually got pretty damn close to the 25 kills as well, so...
We did, but we also didn't.
Yeah, but
I'll give you half of one.
You
there.
did say 20, so I guess you win.
We were halfway there.
Yeah,
basically
living on a prayer.
Oh, that was the full MLG moment where we went to 360-degree vertical shotgunage. And he's trying to compete with Chain there. I'll definitely put that frag up there because it's also Rapha, but it's I'm waiting for someone to beat that double midi.
The thing is,
the one way to beat a double midi is a triple midi.
I'll take that one just because you know I do love a shotgun kill.
That is true.
They do get my juices going, and Rapha absolutely just gave us a masterclass on how to use the super shotgun.
Maybe he dedicated towards you. You don't necessarily know that. I'll check your DMs afterwards. You know, maybe he'll send you a private message and be like, Jackie,
respect.
That's for you.
Thank you. Well, if it was, that was amazing, because what a display we just had there on the second map. Rapha, we talk about him like a living legend that he is, and he showed why we do. We hype him up so much because he is just incredible at the game. Quake Champions is in his blood, and blood was spilled on that map.
Indeed, and the Whaz has got to see if he's up to the test one more time. If it's not going to go to plan, it's fine. This is the best practice that you can get. Live competition versus the greatest of all time. No complaints to be made, but we're now here in the last map of the evening. We are on Awoken with a Sorlag versus BJ.
Let's get into it. See what this lady can achieve. She's going to open up with a railgun, a nail gun even, to try and pepper spray into her opponent. And weaken off Whaz, who might actually take a full frontal face of all of these nails. He is going to be stuck to the wall.
Ow. That's just mean, man. Just pushing into the man like that. His
That's
nails so accurate, though. Ridiculous levels of damage. But there should be sort of a shareage on the items. Rapha's decided he doesn't want to share, though. He doesn't pick up the mega health because he's trying to push forward to pressure the heavy pickup. Whaz actually still walks away with a couple of points of overstack and starts to land the rails. Very important that Whaz can hit those long-range shots.
The thing that I'd be scared about is Rapha actually gets the kill here as well. He was able to delay that pickup by nearly about 8 seconds. So technically, he could start to get so much map control if he can now roam between the two.
See if he tries to do that. I think he's going more for damage on this. And he might end up delaying the Mega even more. Good rockets. There is dual wheel to be slightly afraid of. Whaz is desperately looking for some rails. He manages to hit one, and Rapha stack is being managed fairly well from Whaz, but at no point can he stop that pressure. Immediately you see a couple of light armors taken after the Mega Health, and he's got to do that work all over again. Little late getting onto the LG, and you can hear the BJ scream, which is usually a sign to continue pushing in shortly after.
Ooh. Whaz backed off. He got the heavy as it had only just come up. There's 5 seconds between as well before the Mega's in play. Rapha is so low. Going for this is going to be quite a worrisome fight. He does get the shot off with a rail. So much confidence on this man, and
Wow.
he nearly gets the kill. Actually does take him down. Both of them trading. What on earth?
Well, Whaz getting the trade. Small silver lining for him. He gets himself on the board. Although that does answer the question for me. You know that rail through the teleporter? We see him swing momentum straight diagonally straight through, so that's what happened to Tox yesterday. I think we can confirm that now. Thanks Whaz and Rapha for doing the research for us live on stream.
Whaz heading out with the LGs. He pushes straight in. 69 HP, and he's dead as the rail will land on his lips.
A little bit ballsy to go up the bounce pad. Didn't need to do that. Mega wasn't up for absolutely ages. Overly aggressive. Oh, big poop. Will still drop. Rapha's not overly stacked at all. Lots of spam out. Whaz does avoid a good amount of damage, and he can try and pressure that Mega Health. He might expect Rapha to already be there, but he gets in his way. There's the LG play. Look at the rail follow-up. I still think that Whaz managed to get a shot right at the end, which was pretty disgusting from him. And he's getting rid of some of the light armors on the map too. Oh, this is going to be a kill for Whaz. Beautifully done from him. 2 to 3. Can deny it with the nails if he wants to. Dual wield at a very opportune time, but he's got to watch it because there's the heavy up. And he's let the heavy get away, actually. This could be a bit of a nightmare for him. He's got to leave now because Rapha's going to be pressuring. Oh, what a flick. Rapha's so weak. Whaz is suddenly starting to hit his shots. And even though he let go of that item, stunning. Catching him with his pants down. 3 for 3. Unexpected.
Yeah. Really, really impactful shot there. Crazy stuff done. And now this puts us in a position where on the 3rd map, to deny the 3-0, Whaz has really started to come back into his own. It's all tied up. It's all to play for. He only has 1 rail, which could come back to be a detriment, but luckily he's got 2 LGs, and he is going to unleash as he unreleases their potential all over Rapha. Won't actually find the frag though, but tags him up ever so slightly. Rapha has the time to reposition here.
That's exactly where he is. I don't think he understood if he went up the bounce pad or not. Expecting to see him soon. There's the rail ammunition that he was looking for a while. Not going to overcommit to that. They're very nicely done. Waits for the rocket spam to come out. Rapha going to push him back almost towards the heavy. He's got to watch out. Waits for that fadeaway rail from Rapha, but manages to fight excellently. Might be able to run into him once again. Got to watch out. You've got those ledge rockets. Hits a very nice direct and catches him with the lightning gun up the bounce pad. Whaz taking a lead now as we enter the halfway point in the map. This is starting to be pretty intense for Whaz, actually for all of us.
Whaz, he could really make a difference here and deny all of those bonus points going the way of Rapha. He does have a chance. He does have the lead. 4 rockets to play with, but a face full of damage coming straight at him as Rapha looks to try and win this 1v1. They both get dropped on HP. They both land the rail, but Rapha, with a higher sustain, wins the fight, overthrows and equalizes.
I love what Whaz is doing, but unfortunately he can dodge away in time, and Rapha always expects those plays. Trained into expecting a double peek. And Whaz has got to get out there. He can't drop down for the heavy anymore. He might be able to trade out on the Mega, but look how fast Rapha is to get there. He goes for the rocket jump across. You can go punish on elbow quite a lot, and Whaz has done a ton of damage with the rail right at the end, so he will get himself right back into the lead. But the lead is incredibly fickle.
Tags him up, knocking him into the air. Whaz
Light, please.
Oh, tries to play around him, is actually able to escape and then get into a bit of a better position. On the way out, the double rocket gets him in the air. It would have been so special for Yazoot, but it wasn't meant to happen.
You know what's better than a double mid-air is a double mid-air with dual wield.
The Akimbo there.
Oh, that LG stings Rail through the window. Oh, that would have been the kill! Unbelievable if that lands. Oof. He misses the shot on Whaz, puts himself vulnerable for a second. Rapha's under a lot of pressure at the moment. How is he going to be handling this in the last stages? He's looking for 8 extra points, and Whaz hoping to disappoint him somewhat. He's got 1 health over the railable stack. He's going to try and move across. Whaz goes up the mouse pad, but he's hitting a great rocket. There's the follow-up. Still some stack to work with, and Whaz regains the lead. This is back and forth, back and forth.
6-5. Whaz, the man that is at the helm at the minute. 15 seconds until he has his active ability off cooldown. The push coming in from the Sorlag though, as she'll swing into action, laser him down, as he will die in a watery grave. Rapha continuing on once more as well. Grabs the Mega to really bolster him and keep him happy to try and take a heavy hand into this following fight. Not much time left on the clock here as the scoreline is tied. One of them needs to take the initiative and get the advantage. Rapha with a rail, surely not through the portal. Instead, he'll opt to push in, but he's followed, and this is where it's going to get awkward. The Sorlag spit comes out, he's so low, but barely survives and gets away.
Whaz going to look for a rail through the portal. I don't actually know if he has the rail. He might not yet at this stage. Gets himself a light. He's 100-100, actually outstacking Rapha, and now has taken the mega health. It's 6 for 6, and Whaz still is in a great position at the moment. I'm concerned he doesn't have the railgun, which is really important for him against Rapha. Is where he's been getting all of the entry damage.
It's not like he can even try and remedy that, though. He doesn't have the rail. Rapha is defending the rail room. Finally pushes out. This is his one opportunity to be bold and go for gold if he wants to try and push in. Instead, it's going to be the Tri-Bolt troublesome play as he fires off of it. A couple of tags out there from the HMG. Tri-Bolt on the connection. Now we can go and get the rail. He can set himself up for success here, Zoo.
Yeah, very important pickup for him. Looks like we could have an explosive end to this map as we're fully tied up still, just over a minute left. He's got a position around heavy. This doesn't mean that he picks it up. It depends how Rapha's going to play, but he is going to make the drop down. Rapha's going to stare at him. We've got the dual wield out, and Rapha's going to have to respect a little bit. He respects so much that he rocket jumps away. Whaz has got to be careful on his commitment. Rocket jump up would be too brave. And he'll fade away, keep himself 100-100. Rapha's a little more than that, but he's a larger target, so I'd say this is pretty even at the moment.
Tries to open it up with the LG, a big amount of damage done, nearly missing on the rails though, so we can't quite connect it to punish Rapha. They're all tied up and we're getting so close to the idea of this actually being forced into a sudden death scenario. 5 rails that remain. Whaz knocked down within such a sliver of health. He will get the transfer back, nearly the following one as well, as they're keeping it close, they're keeping it competitive, and they're keeping us on our toes here, dude, but Rapha will knock Whaz clean off of his toes, breaking his back there with a rail shot.
LG to rail combo is just rude. And Whaz puts his dual wield out, hoping he can get something done. He really wishes it could be 100-100. There's no way to get any proper control. He's out of ammunition, largely. And there's just too few resources. We get a belter of a map at the end of week 7. But ultimately, it'll be Rapha taking 3 map wins over Whaz.
Shuts it down there in the end. So close. They made a meal out of that final game, and it gave us everything we could have asked for as a series there. Highlights, close games, twists and turns.
We got Rapha with 29 light pickups. That's a hilarious amount. Whaz did do about 700 or 800 more damage, and if they were evenly sized champions, then actually the damage would have been fairly even, maybe 100 or so in favor of Whaz. So he did the damage he needed to, but that amount of light armors also to take into account is pretty brutal. It's what Sorlag thrives upon. What a game he gave us. Rapha again looking mortal, but does manage to eke out the win.
Yeah, wild stuff there, as in the end it is going to go the way of Rapha, shutting it down Direly needed at the end as well, as it means he does complete the win streak with a 3-0, and he is going to get the beneficial extra points that, for Rapha, will solidify him still in that top spot.
I mean, what an evening